Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for mid-January 2022. We're going to jump right in here, and we're going to do like a mega super Celtic cross. So it's going to be basically like a double Celtic cross. And there's actually going to be a part 2 where we go even deeper than that for the middle of the month. And that will be linked up in the comments down below. It'll be the top pinned comment, Scorpio, but let's see what is going on for you. You always get the Tower in your readings, I'm noticing, and here's the thing is that, number one, the Tower can just be your card, Scorpio, and you have the Death card here as well. So, really, I'm starting to wonder if you just are, kind of showing up in your own reading, and that's why the Tower keeps coming up for you. Also, to me, again, as I say to everyone, to me, the Tower has to happen. To me, there is no really good or bad in the tarot because, the tarot is meant to be advice. The tarot does not control your life. You do. So I think people who think, oh, the tarot is good or bad are people who think that tarot controls their life. And it doesn't. We will always have Tower moments in our life. The Tower is meant to happen, and it's just a necessary transition or transformation. In your current general energies, you have the 5 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. I feel like some of you could have had a disappointment for sure in love. Like maybe you thought you were going to marry someone, 4 of Wands, 5 of Cups, and it just didn't work out. This person turned out to be toxic, or you do kind of have some I would say maybe not a cheater, but a liar, devil, moon. 8 of Cups, kind of like that lying type of energy is what I would say here more than anything. So if you were dealing with a toxic person, who you thought you were going to marry, who you thought you were going to have a commitment with, where there was a disappointment, then what I would say here is I feel like it was probably just maybe a bad person. I don't know how else to say it. Scorpio just came out. For others, I feel like this is talking about the grass being greener on the other side. I feel like the grass is greener on the other side. Like if you're going through something right now as we speak, then I would say that the 4 of Wands is kind of relief is the word that I'm getting here. I'm going to show you over here. These people are celebrating on the other side of the 4 of Wands. So, and it's popping into my head as relief, which is very weird. The 4 of Wands doesn't represent relief. It really represents celebration or freedom entering into your life. It's not really a card of relief, but that's kind of like what's popping into my head is there's a sense of relief here. I do like also, by the way, you have the Tower and the 7 of Cups, and this is coming up as your crossing energy, but your next 2 cards are the Star. The Star comes up after the Tower. The Star literally represents healing from a Tower moment. So clearly, if you've been experiencing Tower moments, things are going to be improving for you. The Tower has to happen, especially with the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups can be like being spoiled for choice, having too many options. And sometimes I think the universe creates a Tower moment when we're not focused, or maybe we're too focused actually with the 7 of Cups in the Tower. The Tower can represent only looking at things one way. These people have built that tower up around them so they don't have to look at the outside world. They built that tower so they can ignore what is going on around them. And that's why the Tower happens, because the universe wants us to look at reality. And that's why we get a Tower moment, especially if we've been doing or if we've been stuck in a situation for too long. The Tower is meant to cause a shakeup in our life. And the 7 of Cups, I feel like, is, again, just like maybe you haven't been making a decision, or a decision has been difficult for you to make. Sometimes I think the 7 of Cups is like good, bad, especially with the Tower. You can say like we are focused on something, but we could be creating this fluff, I call it, around what we're creating. It's like, I'm sure you've all like maybe had business ideas. It's like you have the initial idea, or maybe you have an idea for love as well. It's like you have the initial idea, but it's like then all the reality starts to set in. And that's like the 7 of Cups Tower to me. It's where we think like get really excited about something, then we start to lower our energy because we're like, oh yeah, but this person could be a cheater. Or if it's a business idea, we can say, well, I'm going to need money. It's like all the things that we don't get excited about, right? And that's what's kind of creeping in here. Luckily, in the area of your thoughts, you have the Star and the 3 of Cups. This would actually tell me that things are improving greatly for you, Scorpio, especially with these 2 cards. The 3 of Cups is a card of celebration, so I feel like your thoughts are wanting more joy and happiness in your life. And you also have the Star, which is a card of healing from a Tower moment, but I also feel like you're starting to see that something is possible. The Star card she's pouring water outside of her pool onto the land here, and it kind of represents the fact that if something's possible for one person, it's possible for you. So 3 of Cups could be like someone else in your life. Maybe you are seeing someone else in your life becoming successful, and the star is like, could be inspirational. You could be saying, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. It's like, maybe you're seeing your dumbass friend get married. But maybe they found a great person, and you're like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it, right? Maybe you're seeing your dumbass cousin starting a business and becoming successful. You're like, if he can do it, I can do it. So that's the star energy. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the Devil and the 3 of Pentacles. The Devil could be something toxic that you need to release, of course. But the Devil, here's the thing about the Devil is that the chains that are around these people's neck, they're meant to look very loose. They're meant to look like something they could easily lift off around their neck. They could easily separate away from it. So I feel like some of you definitely need to let go of anything that you feel stuck or bound to. But 3 of Pentacles is a card of quality work. It kind of says that there is something in your life where you can put the work in and be successful at it. So, if you do anything, if you're working on anything and you can be successful at it, I would do it with that 3 of Pentacles energy. 3 of Pentacles is kind of like a card of being able to follow a plan. And what I would say is that I feel like some of you, it's like you're starting to see something. This is interesting. I have to say this, Scorpio. 3 of Pentacles, there's a water triangle or fire triangle at the top and a water triangle at the bottom. And it always reminds me of like, it kind of says there is more that you could be doing. It's like 3 of Pentacles is good. It could say like, hey, you've built a business or you're working on a business or a career or something. And the 3 of Pentacles really says, but there could be more. It's like you could make it better. Devil could be like resting on your laurels. I'm not calling you lazy, but it could just say that you're just maybe you're not putting in as much work because you just don't know what to do next. This energy here could say that maybe another person has a better plan for your business, or maybe that someone has ideas for what you could be doing. So I would be tapping into that. Cancer had a very similar message as well. So if you have Cancer in your chart, I would definitely go watch that reading. But I kind of get that feeling for you as well. It's like maybe you're just not sure about how to take something to the next level, but there are people clearly in your life who either have a plan or maybe have a good understanding of how you could get something to the next level. Here in the middle for your past, you have the Ace of Pentacles in the Moon. The Ace of Pentacles could be an offer. The Moon could say you took a risk, right? The reason the Moon in the past could represent a risk is it's like if someone offers you love, maybe you just like weren't sure how the relationship was going to go. I do get that feeling where some of you are coming off of like a relationship or have already, where it's like you got into it being a little bit cloudy with the Moon energy or just being a little bit unsure of where it was going to go. For others, same thing with an opportunity. It's like if you've been working on a project, business, a career, the Moon could just say that in the past you weren't exactly sure what direction things were going to go in or how things were going to turn out. In the near future, you have the 10 of Swords and the Empress. This is actually pretty good because this could really be you taking your power back here, Scorpio. It's like if you look here, she represents really taking your power back. This person on the 10 of Swords is dead. 10 of Swords is a card of something being dead, done, and over with. So I feel you are releasing something. We see this with the Tower. You have the Death card here, which is your card as well. You also have the 5 of Cups showing up. And, on the 5 of Cups, I was kind of saying that it, like, is giving me these vibes of the grass definitely being greener on the other side. There is an improvement coming in for you here. I see this as a good thing for whatever reason. 5 of Cups sometimes says like you might be disappointed or there could be some disappointments based off of something from the past, or there could be disappointments that something hasn't worked out. But 5 of Cups is kind of like a, like a blessing in disguise. I don't really consider it a blessing in disguise unless it comes up with the 9 of Swords. But, still, I feel like there's kind of like blessing in disguise energy in something that you are releasing. If you're releasing anything, I feel like it's going to turn out much better than you realize. You have the Empress as well. So I feel like there is just good abundance coming in for you with the Empress. I feel like there's a lot of success coming in for you as well. Definitely empowerment energy, but I feel like the type of empowerment you're receiving is more answers. It's like sometimes it's like if we don't know where something is going with the Moon energy, if we're like, do I invest my time, effort, and energy in this person, in this business, career? And it's like if we don't know, then it's like not very empowering. We're kind of like flying by the seat of our pants. But it's like if we kind of have an idea, if we kind of know like, hey, you know what? I'm probably going to get results if I put energy in this business or this person. And it's like much more, we're coming at it from a much more empowered place. Next, in the near future, you have the Death card and the Eight of Pentacles. I'm pretty sure that in one of your recent readings, I was talking about how some of you could be releasing like a business or something you've been working on for a long time. This would be more of a transformation in the way that you work. So as far as work and business are concerned, I do feel like there's a transformation coming in. I like the Eight of Pentacles because it's much more direct results. It's like, if I put work in, what do I get out? Or it's kind of like, I hesitate to say that it's a guarantee of future results, but it's basically a guarantee of future results. If I put energy into this, do I get energy back? And that's what I see here is like maybe for a long time in business or work, it's kind of been more scattered. Like you'd make a little bit of money, maybe then you wouldn't make a little bit of money. Now I feel like there's much more kind of predictable income coming in for you, especially for those of you in work or business. Eight of Pentacles could be mastering anything, could also be love as well. And again, maybe those things have been a little bit unpredictable. I see things getting more predictable for you. That doesn't mean life is going to be perfect, like I said, but, I feel like things are more predictable. In the area of your future, or in the area of your current, in all your relationships is what I'm trying to spit out here. You have the Eight of Cups and this Knight of Swords. Like I said to everybody, it is a weird time for your closest relationships. That means all relationships. Venus going retrograde in Capricorn. I don't know. Could be a little weird for you, Scorpio. There could be some like weird relationship things going on. I would just realize it's temporary. No arguments this year. Mars goes retrograde this year as well. No arguments in the home. Even though Mars isn't retrograde yet, I don't care. I would completely avoid arguments in general. It's just like a bad time to do it, especially with Venus and Mercury retrograde. This could just say there's some like weirdness. Maybe you feel like people are walking away from you or feel like people are pulling away from you. Just intuitively, I feel like this is temporary. It's going to change. Wouldn't even worry about it with those cards. Next, in the area of your future feelings, look at this. Magician, Hierophant. It's like you almost feel like you can learn something and create something at the same time very, very quickly. Very good cards. The Hierophant is like a card of educational learning. He's also the bridge between like heaven and earth, or the universe and earth. And the Magician, he is able to manifest things that he dreams about in the, that are out in the universe. He puts his words out in the universe. You'd think that I would figure out how to hold these, Scorpio, but I can't. But he's able to manifest whatever his vision is, whatever his words are. So very powerful manifestation energy that I'm getting with these two cards. I feel like you could be manifesting things very quickly. I do feel like the Magician is saying like a little bit more action. I'm pretty sure in the readings I did for the week of the 17th, which is basically the middle of March, or the middle of the middle of January, there could be something happening for you in the middle of March. I just said that. So there you go. But number two, like I feel like there's a need for more action. It's like I think we have a lot, like that we are getting a lot of good ideas. The Moon, we see this here for you. It's like Ace of Pentacles, the Moon. Even though this is coming up in your past position, if we just look at this as a diagonal, it's like saying there could be a lot of good ideas that you're having. The Moon is a period of innovation. It represents new ideas for our life popping into our head. They might be a little bit crazy. We might not be a little bit sure where they're going. But if we learn Hierophant and we put it into action with the Magician, just get started, then we'll be successful. So I'd say it might be a good time for you to try some of your innovative ideas, your crazy ideas, whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, your outcome is the Justice card and the King of Pentacles. A lot of stability. It seems to me that at the beginning of the year here, this is what people are focusing on, is King of Pentacles. Much more stable, predictable energy, which we've already talked about. He kind of like builds things that last for a long time. It makes sense to me that, because of COVID, I think a lot of people either lost their jobs or lost other things in their life. And this is probably pushing people to create or want to create something that is going to last, no matter what is going on around them. I think when we experience periods of discomfort like this, it probably pushes us to go the other direction, right? And the Justice card says, just, try. Justice is cause and effect. It says if you put a little energy into building like a permanent business or to build a permanent relationship, then you'll be successful. But it's cause and effect. It's like if you put energy in, what do you get out? I always say this because it's like the most important thing with the Justice card. It can represent justice and legal matters and all that other stuff. I do see that for some of you, by the way, if you're dealing with something legal, but I don't think that's like the main energy that is being talked about with this card. I feel like the main energy here is, to trust feedback if you're receiving feedback on something. But ultimately, not a bad reading at all. I feel like we're going in a good direction for you, Scorpio. And I feel like you're kind of being pushed into like some sort of new world, basically, or you're being pushed towards having a new beginning because Tower Star. It's like you're seeing that something is possible. I think I titled one of your readings from a couple weeks ago, like the impossible becoming possible or something like that. I get more of that energy for you here. It's kind of interesting to have in the same row, in this bottom row, to have the Magician and the Hierophant as well, because again, they're similar but different. It's like I would consider the Hierophant to be more practical because he's like he does connect heaven and earth, but he's like, very earthly, if that makes sense. He represents Taurus. And you have the Magician, which is like much more, heaven, much more in the ethers. He is kind of more tapped into the energy. He's more willing to change as well and go through changes so that he can manifest the magical things that he wants. Very interesting. We're going to have to see where this goes in part 2. So part 2 will be linked up down below, top comment down below. Thank you for being here, Scorpio. Thank you for watching, and definitely enjoy your month.